like. I studied acting pretty much my whole life, and that's where my background is. I decided at 5 that I wanted to become an actor, and luckily I am one. So that's really lovely. So for instance, if you go to an audition, let's say back in the day, auditioning for Pokemon, they would have shown the Japanese voice doing Ash, and maybe my take on it at the time would have been maybe talking like this, maybe a little more with a nasal thing, because at the time many boy characters had nasal voices. And maybe the director would say, all right, that's kind of cool, but we don't want the nasal in it. So maybe I would have talked like this, and made him kind of like this. Okay, that's good, but maybe he needs to be a little bit older. So maybe then I would have dropped him down, I don't know, maybe down around here or something. But maybe that would have been too old because Ash is only 10. So maybe at the time he would come out like this. And eventually we settled around here. So that's kind of but that's kind of in a way, when you go for an audition for something, you kind of come in with your ideas of what a character sounds like, and then you fine-tune it along the way. Maybe a character, the way up here, and maybe she's talking like this a lot, but it makes her sound too airheadish, so maybe then she kind of gets a little bit like this, because she's a tougher kind of person, and maybe I bring her in, or maybe then she kind of is down here, because she's smarter, and yet she's adventurous. So you can kind of vary all of that. And you, as actors, as people, you're constantly listening to what people around you sound like, and then you try to draw that into your instrument and your interpretation on things. I guess what I wanted to do is once we pick some people to come up, I was going to kind of lead you through a vocal warm-up to kind of give you an idea of where you can find places in your range. Just in general, there's many places that you can place a voice, let's say. So someone can be way up here, they could be much more in here, maybe the person's down in here, maybe she's down in here. So you can really shift things all around. And when you're making a vocal choice, you want to make sure that you tap into all different parts of your range. Before I start and pick some people to come up to put voices to these, does anyone have a question in general about voice acting that I could answer before we start a warm-up? Yeah. How do you get into the field? How do you become a voice actor? I would say the biggest component of voice acting is acting. And if you want to be an actor, I would suggest that you do everything you can to act. Whether you take classes, you get in plays at your school, you read books for kids at your library, you get a job, let's say at a movie theater, or you get a job at a radio station. You try to do whatever you can to stay in that field. You meet people. Most of the jobs I get are just through people that I know. Because I work here, someone recommends me to something else, and you want to build your network. But more than that, you want to make sure that you have your suitcases packed full of all of your talent. So you learn as much as you can about your craft. As the same thing with drawing or dancing or any art that you do, you want to learn as much as you can about it. Do you have any questions? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's okay. Are there more voice acting jobs on the East Coast? What's that? There's not as much dubbing being done here as there used to be. Is that what you mean? Dubbing is when you have something like Pokemon that comes in and it's already done in another language, and then you dub it into English so you fit the words into the lip clap. There isn't as much anime being done here, let's say in New York, as there used to be. But yeah. I've always wanted to be an actor since, I don't know, maybe since I was little. But then I got an audition for an anime, actually, and I can't remember which it is now, but it's just one thing led to another, and it just turns out that most of the jobs I do now are voice-related rather than stage-related or film. So I wanted to be an actor my whole life, not necessarily just a voice actor. And so it's just luckily that I'm an actor. Someone else had a question? Yeah? Did I strain? I went to college and grad school for acting, and so a lot of that was voice classes, different types of voice. So, yeah, doing Ash, for instance, is not really the most vocally hygienic choice one could make, because it's all the way in the back of my throat, and it's hard to breathe and do that voice at the same time. But at the same time, there's different things that I've learned along the way to protect my voice. Like if you're screaming a lot, there's what's that? You're all finished? Okay. We'll see your picture in just a minute, okay? There's ways to scream and not strain your voice. There's ways to breathe through. I think the biggest thing is that if you're constantly producing air, that's better for you. Yes.
Where?
I used to play Ash, Ash's mother, May, and then various Pokemon along the way. Yep.
Where's mine?
A lot of people, some jobs that I have gotten, certainly they want me to make the voice somewhat Ash-like. So other jobs that I've gotten, the voice does sound similar to Ash because that's what they've wanted. But I think that playing Ash was a great thing for me because being a 10-year-old boy for 8 years was really fantastic with his positive energy, and I've never been a fighter, and so the amount of battles I was in as Ash was really exciting for me. What's that? Where's yours? I don't know, is it over here, sweetie? I think it's right there. Is that your mom? Oh, you can hold on to it. Yeah? Straight shirt? I just did Ash. Oh, I did, Peek Lady, Peek Lady. Oh, that's. Is there one more and then we'll pick some people? Yes? Did you have a question? I did. I used to play. When I played Ash through season 8, and then at that time they replaced the whole cast, so I don't play the character any longer. Yeah. What's that? Yes? Ash is, I think, Ash, why is Ash always 10? I think, I would have to say, playing Ash as a 10-year-old, I never questioned that. But I do think that Ash represents the 10-year-old in all of us. And in the sense, none of us really ever grow up. And there's a part of us that stays the same regardless of what age we are. And I think, in a sense, Ash represents that positive, energetic person inside of us regardless of how old we are. So, anyway, so I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. One last question, just for now, and then, yes, Ellen?
I was always a fan of Pokemon, and I got kind of inspired with my friend, and we made this thing up.
What did you do?
Well, we made like these little creatures called Caramon, a mix of everything or something, and then we made different like types. Especially my like favorite type is the food type.
I think I like that too. Did you draw them or just do the voices?
Well, we draw them, and I really get inspired from these anime stuff.
How old are you?
I'm 7, almost 8. My birthday is June 9th.
Oh, so happy almost birthday. Thank you. Okay, let's pick a couple. How many people do we have drawing? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 12 people to do voices. Okay, 1, 2.